So we're recording now. Okay. After I hit the snag it, we're recording. Okay. Now I gotta be fairly close to the computer since I'm like plugged into it here. All right. So we're gonna find the line of best fit for this set of data. So we've got honeybees. When they find a source of food, it returns to the beehive and communicates with other bees in the direction and distance of the source. Excuse me. The bee makes a loop, waggles its belly along a line, makes another loop, and then another waggle. The bee repeats its dance several times. The time for each cycle, one loop and waggle, not going to do that, reveals the approximate distance to the food source. Okay, isn't that interesting? Yeah, okay. You didn't.
I missed the whole thing because I was laughing.
All right, well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to take this data that they've given us for distance to food source and the time that they are doing their little dance. And first we're going to make a little scatter plot of this. Okay, so, and of course, the smartboard has lost its alignment because my computer forgot everything this morning. So I don't know. It should be, it does store it in memory. Okay, that looks better. Okay. So before we get into the calculator, we're just going to do, just a little manual little scatter plot here, because some of your homework asks you to do that. So I'm going to make myself some pretty rudimentary scatter plot here. Distance to food, cycle time in seconds. I wonder which is the independent, which is the dependent variable. Does the distance to food depend upon the cycle time, or does the cycle time depend upon the distance to the food? The time depends upon the distance? Okay. I thought differently last period, but I'm starting to think you're right. And of course, like I said with your homework, doesn't really matter. We're just doing the math, and we're not the scientists, so it doesn't matter which is going to be the independent and dependent variable in this case. All right, so we'll do it this way. All right, so my x-axis, my distance axis, I need to scale up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my y-axis, my time, I need to scale up to about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 4, 2, 2, 4. Okay, good enough. All right, now I'm going to put some dots on. I go out 1.35 and I go up 3.5, about there. I go out 1.5 and I go up a little bit higher. I go out 1.5 again and I go up just a tiny bit higher. I go out to 2 and I go out to about 4.4. I go a little over 2, 2.15, and I go 4.3, just a little bit lower. I go 2.65 and I go all the way up to 5. 2.75 and I go a little tiny bit higher. 3.5 and I go up to 5.6. 4, I go up to 6. Now they made it easier. 5, I go up to 7. And 6, I go up to 7.6. Okay? So, there's my scatter plot. I could make a line that fits this scatter plot. I could probably draw a nice little line. Maybe we'll draw a purple line just to make it pretty. And that might be my line of best fit. Might be. Okay? So if you just had no technology and no calculator, wonder how you could find the equation of the line of best fit. Find 2 points. Yeah, so if you graph this really well, you would find 2 points on this graph, you know, maybe that one, and then use those 2 points, find the slope, use point slope, you got your equation of your line. But we're going to use technology to make things a little bit better. And the technology that we use in the calculator doesn't just kind of eyeball a line. It uses a very special algorithm that you would actually learn if you took stats, which you may in a couple of years. So we're going to go, you're going to turn on your calculator now. Come on. Okay. Here we go. Turn on your little graphing calculator. Now, some of you have used your little graphing calculators before, so maybe you're fairly familiar. If I wanted to do 9 times 3, I'd do 9 times 3. I'd hit enter. There we go. And it would give me the answer, just like you had a little scientific calculator. But this calculator is bigger and much more expensive, so it obviously does more than that. Right? Hopefully it does a little more than that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that data of that dance and that distance to the food into the graphing calculator. To do that, the first button you hit is the stat button right here. Right there. There we go. Okay. Oh, you haven't gotten your calculator on yet?
I was pressing enter, and
Oh, okay.
not the on button.
Yeah, now, got to read the buttons. Okay, you got a page that looks like that? Looks like that? We're doing number 1, edit. So you can enter the number 1, or you can just hit enter because it's already over the number 1. Okay. If you've got some junk in the list of your calculator, which you will after you've done after you've done one problem, you've got some junk in your list of your calculator, and you want to clear that list out, you hit the arrow key up until you are highlighted at this thing that says L1. That means list 1. Then you hit clear, which is right below the arrows. And then you hit enter, and voila, list 1 doesn't have any junk in it anymore. It's always important to clear out the list because there's can be things left in the list that are going to affect your next problem. I'm going to do that for my second list because we're going to use the first list for the inputs for the x's and the second list, come on, go up, for the y's. Okay? So how you're going to enter the data from the previous page is you're going to take that input list, and I believe the first number on that was 3.5. Come on. 0.5. And then you hit enter. And then the next number on that is 3.8. And then you hit enter. And now I'm going to go back to that page so you can, whoa, wrong thing. Sorry. Ah, that's the y's, sorry. Your first number in list 1 should be 1.35. And then 1.5. And then 1.5. And 2. Etc., etc., etc. Now, does your freeze work?
Are we putting in all those numbers?
Yes, you're going to put in list 1, you're going to put all of the numbers on the X line. And in list 2, you're going to put all of the numbers on the Y line. And while you're doing that, I will be doing that also. And since I deleted everything out of my lists, I actually saved my data in another place so that I could easily put it back in. Yeah, well, I can use the calculator pretty well, so